G'day folks, welcome back to the Bulge. It's the start of the 20th of December, so turn 5. I played through the rest of the turn, bits and pieces over the last 24 hours. Let's have a look. This is where really the focus is. The last few activations, 2nd Panzer struggled, only got a partial. I've got 26 Volksgrenadier in their way. I want to get to 26. You can see their formation. The blob is sort of around here. I want to bring them south of the Vilts River and focus on this secondary road. So they'll be attacking along here and trying to get through these two pretty strong airborne, the 1st and the 2nd of the 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment, which will enable 2nd Panzer to drive down this primary road. Panzer down here, 116th down here. So basically the way I'm approaching this is to give each of these formations a road, which gives them clear supply paths. You can see, for example, 116th Panzer, they've now got CCR 9 in their way. These guys just been caught in this pocket, but this should be their main road. Panzer can have, where is their headquarters? Under here, they can have this primary road. Where is their combat train? Is the next, here it is, down here. 2nd Panzer headquarters is off here with their combat train up there. And 26 Volksgrenadier here with their combat train just down here, linking up with 5th Volksgrenadier who's taking everything south. These guys, they're not strong formations. You can see here the 1s and 2s are on their sort of move side. They're not, they've got relatively low ARs, but they're forcing CCB to shift around. Yeah, they've really spread out. So you can see all these blue units spread out to the right. Over here, these German reinforcements drove up to about this area. This is about where they got. This is their headquarters, somewhere in here. They're fresh. Failed a 2nd activation. Everything around here is pretty quiet. 276th, 212th Volksgrenadier doing pretty well given their quality to push the Americans back in the sort of southern area. The weather for this turn is exactly the same as last turn, so it's mud, and I'm pretty sure I've been missing the mud rules, which is basically that trucked movement is half. It is poor atmosphere and good visibility, so any visibility. The atmosphere means that when I rolled for US air, there was no air once again, so there's no American air support. The only thing I haven't done yet is roll for initiative to see who goes first. And I also haven't checked, sorry, I should have done this earlier, I haven't checked reinforcements for this turn. So let's check the 20th. The Americans received nothing on this turn. And if I look at the German charts, 'cause they may get some reinforcements on the 20th. 20th December, DE, yes they do. They get the 11th Panzer Division. Okay, so let me show you my organisational charts here. Where can I set this? 11th Panzer. Yep, found them. And I'll just set them up here for a moment. So what we're looking at here, some pretty decent units, good ARs among them. And, okay, so let's sort out these units so they get their combat train, their headquarters. They are fresh. They get the 11th Panzer Recon. 1st, 15th, 2nd Second, 15th. No, these have a reduced strength of just 2. '61st. Where are they? They might still be in the cannery. They might be mixed up with the 9th Panzer. Or they might be independent, maybe. 61st. Jagdpanzer. 61st. Can't see them in here. Where are there? Is there a space for independent? This could be anywhere in here. These are the German cannons. There's a lot. Definitely not here, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking it must be 61st. Okay. It looks something like that. That's the 50th. Sorry, it's really hard to get focus on that. But it looks something like that. And I don't know where. I think this could take me a lot of time sorting through cannons. I might stop and come back in a couple of minutes once I've found. Oh no, wait, sorry. I do recall now. I put some independent formations up here, so it's not up there either. It is. There are I don't know, hundreds of cannons in here. And look, I've done such a good job in sorting them out by formation. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. This is 11th Panzer, blah, 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 61st Jagdpanzer. If it was a support, the list often specifies support. Let's, oh, here it is, right in front of me, just off camera. It slipped down somehow. Okay, there we go. Found them. They are not a dedicated support unit, a focused support unit, so they can be flexible. What else we got? All right, first 110 with 5 steps. Second 110, first 111, second 111. These two, each with 5. Okay. And I'll also point out that both sides rolled pretty well for replacements. So it's just around Bastogne, the Americans are just a lot of them at full strength. 209th Pioneer and their combat trains. Roll 1 die. The division arrives. Unbelievable. Okay, so that's what you're referring to, Lynn. I thought you were saying because I lost the cannon. Okay, so actually what I do after getting this all together is I roll a die. On a 6, they arrive. Otherwise, they don't. They don't arrive. I should have read the whole thing. So they... I wish that sentence came at the beginning of that list of reinforcements. It'll save me all that time. And I've also got 1560, these guys, dedicated support unit being attached to 560 Volksgrenadier Division. So they are hard red support. For 560 is way at the top here. So that gives them some red support. They've been doing nothing. They've been, I think they also had a partial activation and failed to get a second. All right, we're ready to go. There we go. That's our reinforcement supporting unit after all that. I'm going to roll for initiative now. Red is German. Who gets higher? American. Okay. I had some ideas in mind for what the Americans might do if they gain initiative, and it's down here. I had two ideas in mind. One was to push through here. That's a possibility. So there's two big choices here. One, try and drive through Vianden or along this primary road, get towards Clairvaux. It's a possibility. Got some pretty weak German infantry in the way. Secondly, right down here, I could activate CCB-10. My problem here is fatigue, tracks, risk of German counterattack. So if I push, what they did last time is they were hoping 5th Fallschirmjäger would activate first, and then they could move without the threat of being countered. They're kind of vulnerable because if they push forward along these tracks through Boulade, yes, Fallschirmjäger on foot can, excuse me, easily cross this river, cut their supply path. It's a risky thing to do early. I want to, because these guys, if they get a good activation, they could drive up, they could link up with the 101st Airborne. It could be good. But this is probably the safer move. Yeah. So 10th Armoured, I think I'm going to remove their prepared defence. My understanding, I don't think I've ever removed a prepared defence before, but I think it's a choice you make. Removal 3.0 step E. So as preparation, I can create, maintain, or remove my prepared defence marker. That's what I'm doing as part of their preparations. This is 10th Armoured. This bridge is okay, keep in mind. It's one of the few bridges that weren't blown. Where are their combat trains? We'll just double check their supply. So it's coming along this secondary road here to their headquarters. And I've got most of these units across the river. I'm just checking. In fact, they're all across the river. This is 10th Armoured in this blob here. So they are not mixed. They've got Combat Command A, 9th Armoured on their right. And they've got the 109th, 28th consolidated on their left. Yeah. And they are pushing along this road. This is the main American counterattack, and this is what they're going to do with their initiative. So combat trains are all good. The MSR is complete. It is optimal distance. It is, however, crossing streams just a little bit, but it is crossed. So let's, and American snafu modifier for this turn is still -1. The roll is an 11, 10, 9, plus some modifiers. It's an easy full activation, which is going to be nice for the Americans. It's what they want. All right. Remember CCA is bug. I'm not sure what you mean by bug. CCA is bug. CCA is bug. Quickly checking the special rules. buddies. Are they, but this is CCA 9th. Buddies. Okay, so the 109th 2nd Infantry Division, US Armoured Combat Command, CCAs, CCBs, and CCRs are buddies with each other and with all other allied formations, of course. All right, so there is no. Thanks for that, Lynn. I'll need to keep that one in mind. So they can cross streams basically. Okay, so we've got these nice big armoured task forces. On the roads, and we've got options. And this is the part of the game that I absolutely love. I could go right along this primary road and hope to clear out this infantry, and just cut in the back of these Germans around here. I could. So these guys, 352nd, let's check their headquarters first. They do have red support. So I'd need to disengage their support before going around their zone of control. But I could drive up this towards Vianden, cross the Ur, and drive on Berlin. There's not much doing out here. I could drive up this primary road. Really, this is their headquarters here. So I could push their headquarters back, really isolate their units. Oh, that's got to be the best option, right? I could come back around Edelbrook. This is a blown bridge. I'm sure it was blown. Yeah, there it is. The marker's in the wrong place. It should be up further. But that is a blown bridge, kind of in there. This is the most attractive option. 1 infantry, my apologies, on its move side. It's a very, very vulnerable target for this 10th Armoured. So that's going to be my target. Now keep in mind I've got 2 objectives, but I really want this to succeed. So I'm going to throw everything at that double objective. That's going to be my only focus. I mean, it's kind of tempting to throw something off to the right as well, but the +1 modifier for a double objective zone, really needing success here to, increase my chances. If I can get that done, yeah, 14, these guys can fly up this road. We'll see what happens. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Now, how to get it done. So it's the same 5 steps. The same issue as last time. I could do I'll disengage first. These are all dual units. There's a lot of, there's so much going through my mind at the moment. They're all dual units. So they are capable of regular attacks. These 2 are yellow units, so they get a modifier during shock combat, a +1 modifier for being a hard red unit doing shock combat. I could also throw in actually I couldn't throw in a fire, so maybe the best option is to just do a regular attack with this task force up the back here. 3 AR versus 2 AR. Just having a look at this unit. Yeah, okay. So if they come up 1, 2, they will need to drop that support. And they've got 5 versus my 6, so I get a +1 modifier targeting this support. It's a 5-6. The target is narrowly dropped. Just double checking those modifiers. It's in a double objective zone as well. So +2 is 7. The target is definitely temporarily dropped for the Germans. The Germans feel their first temporary drop. Okay, that was an engagement. Now I think I'll do a regular combat. Again, two choices. I'm just looking at this fatigue as well, sorry. It's just off camera, but 10th Armored has got 3 fatigue, so they're at risk of not getting a second activation. So, modifiers for a regular attack are +2 for suppression. That'd be it. If it's shock combat, it'd be 1 for suppression, 1 for the hard red AV unit, so it's pretty much exactly the same. I think I can also, okay, so this is where the rules are, sort of my bit of a grey area. I've used 1 fire event to do the engagement. I think my second fire event could be a shock attack. And then if I understood Lynn yesterday, I can then follow that up with a regular attack as well. You can shock attack as many times as you can manage. Shock attack unit must not be under stop. Okay, that's okay. And then the attack unit can continue to move using its remaining MA if not stopped. Okay, but after spending its second fire action, it will stop. I'm pretty sure they can do a shock combat and then a regular combat. So I've really been under-emphasizing the shock combat benefits. Now that I've disengaged that support, they've dropped their support, I can shock combat them. You can't shock combat whilst there's an AV unit in the hex. We've just got their pretty weak infantry now. So this is going to be shock combat, roll the dice. It's a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 because they're dual, 12 for the double objective zone, 13 for suppression, 14, no, it's not hard red, my apologies. So just 13, -2 AR is 11, they're out in the open, so there are no other modifiers. It's an 11, which is a D1 result for the Germans, and a retreat. Now they can't retreat 3 hexes back to their headquarters because they're in their headquarters space, so they are removed from the map, and they will return tomorrow, basically, on the 21st of December. Now this unit is stopped. They have used 2 fire events. They can't attack headquarters. You can move into headquarters to dislodge them, but you can't attack them. Doesn't matter though, because we've got open roads ahead of us, and 10th Armoured are going to roll down this road. So 1, 2. This pushes the headquarters back. 1, 2, 3. Someone said in a comment that they don't have to move just 3, they can move further. So I'm going to mark where they start. I'll do that with this marker. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they use 4 movement points. They're already suffering coordination. Now they're in trouble. Hey, Kev. Yeah, this is just a Southern campaign, and it's taken me, well, I worked out earlier, it's taken me about 15 minutes per activation. Having said that, I'm 25 minutes into this first activation because I had to find my reinforcements that didn't appear. All right, so these guys have to disappear 10 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And geez, these guys, they're in trouble. 352nd. This is 4. How far do they want to go is, I guess, the next question. 4 movement points are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 10 left. I said I wanted to grab Clairvaux. I'm worried though about my flanks. If I send, I don't need to worry about those objective hexes anymore. If I push too hard, I'm really going to make my flanks vulnerable. So do I kind of hold there and say, hey, job well done, guys? Don't get too... Or do we rush all the way, sorry, off camera? Do I rush to Clairvaux? I can make it. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can exactly make it to Clairvaux. I think that's just... What am I trying to do here, I guess? Really, what I'm trying to do is disrupt the 352nd in this central area. That's, I think, job done. I don't need to push up this road any further. So I think they're going to double back. 4, 5, 6. 6 movement points. 6 movement points. Headquarters. Got to keep in range of the headquarters. Okay, so they should have come up first. Something you've always been mindful of. Range of the headquarters. And they'll stop there. This leaves these guys, and they'll just move up to occupy that road there. All right, so you can see this little counterbulge that the 10th Armoured has driven, and the potential gap. What I'm worried about is, I mean, if I push up, there's still so much. There's 26 Volksgrenadier up here. You've got the very mobile 2nd Panzer just up here. I've still got, I mean, the 352nd, they're not done. I've got these new reinforcements way down south here. They could very easily hit the right side of 10th Armoured. So it's not just sort of, you can't just drive off to Clairvaux and forget about your supplies and your flanks and everything. What I've done here is held this bridge over the Sur River. I've kind of, they're not quite locked down. So let's bring my engineers back to here. 1, 2, 3 into there. Holding key terrain, blocking, these aren't TAC movement units, so they'll have to stop in those zones of control. They won't be able to get to Dekirk. I think that's a good place. So yeah, they stopped because of the combat. They're blocking that bridge. They're blocking any potential movement down this road or this road. This infantry could come a little bit across here, but they're not going to risk that, surely. That's a good activation by the 10th Armoured. Let's see if they suffer fatigue. They do. And that means they're on fatigue level 4, which means no second activation. Job well done though, guys. That's their blob across the Sur River in a nice formation there, with good supplies running down off the map down this secondary road. Oops, that's their support. So with their fatigue level at 4, might be time for them, that's a -4 dice roll modifier to the snafu roll. Might be time for them to get a bit of a recovery activation. Okay, German turn. And they're noticing this bulge. I'm keeping an eye on Bastogne up there. Again, it's always a thing I want to do, but well, look, there is the potential for CCA to come pushing through here. I don't know what 109th 28 can do, probably not too much. But yeah, this is a bit of a crisis. So let's get this new formation. Here they are, fresh. I think their headquarters. There it is. Oh, that should have been flipped over, but I'm going to activate these guys. They will get a plus on modifier for being fresh to their snafu, which is snake eyes. So can they at least get a partial out of this? Where is their combat train? I'm pretty sure they're not mixed. So I've tried to keep them in a good area. I was very careful with this. So not mixed, combat train up there. It's optimal distance. So it's 2 plus 1 for being fresh is 3. Optimal distance, but ghosted cancels it out. So I think that's a bare 3, which will give them a partial. I don't think they need to set any objectives because they won't be getting close enough. Let's find that headquarters. And it's mud, so half movement, half to gain for the snafu. But moving on a primary road, so it's going to be basically 3, and they can go 1, 2, 3. That's as far as that headquarters can get. Let's try and get everyone else up as well. So they're halved to 5, half to gain to 2.5. 1, 2, and a half. All right, attack movement units. Oh, there's some more trucks here. So 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'll move that fresh marker up with the HQ. And they're all attached to 276 Volks Grenadier. These guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, they could move 1 more. 8. Okay, got some more back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's no bridge there. Oh, that's frustrating. This little point here is not a bridge. So instead of going, I'll stay north of that bridge. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Headquarters is there. Let's check their supply route. They can draw supplies up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That hasn't moved, so it's optimal right there where it is. No objectives, so no fatigue, but let's hope for a second activation needing a 5 or more. Nah, of course not. So they are done. They haven't had much luck, to be honest. They're not going to help out the 352nd with that kind of die rolling. Okay, back to the Americans. And look, often I save the 4th Infantry Division till last. They are right down here on the edge of the map. But I might get them moving early to shift around and hold more of this front. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So, activating the 4th Infantry Division. It's a 6, 5. Optimal, so 6 down to 5 for fatigue. Optimal is 6. Gain specific brings it down to 5, so that's just a partial. And a lot of options down here as well. I just want to push the Germans out of this forest a little bit, so I might, this is what I'm thinking here, if I can push my lines around, if I can push them back, it might be nice. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Partial activation, half movement. The woods only cost 1 for leg movement units, and I'll get my attack going in here. Using half artillery, but I've got heaps of artillery here. They've got 6, halved to 3. Here's one of them. With a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Minus 2 is 14. Terrain is 13. That's a good combat. That's D2 and a retreat, a full retreat. So these guys are reduced to 4 and have to scurry back to 276 headquarters on their movement side. And that's what the 4th Infantry wanted to do, just clear that little area out. Okay. What else can I do around here? It's really kind of, it's edge of the map fighting. They don't quite have the resources to maintain this push on this hex. And they kind of, there's this constant threat of being kind of cut off from their HQ. I know it's a victory point location, so I'm kind of tempted to push for that reason, but I kind of want to shift around and threaten the Germans elsewhere. So I'm going to move the headquarters just a little bit back. Now that I've lost Ectonet as well, I'm going to bring these guys. We're moving to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't get far. Leg movements might probably get further. 1, no, they won't. And half. They'll stop there. These 2 leg units will go for, now I'll keep them there. We'll go 1, 2 to reinforce there, and these engineers will pull right out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just kind of a bit of a reserve in a way, but what I'd like to do is extend this 4th Division line further north to basically free up CCA. You may have noticed there is, where I've stacked here, this unit below here is CCA. Jeez, it's hard to grab these. There he is. And I want to get him out, to get them out of there, basically. I think they may have trucks on their reverse side, which will help with sort of rapid movement out of that hex and further north. Oh, crikey. All right. So I had an attack here. This is where the objective was, right here. I can't see that because it's a terrain, and I can't see that, I don't think, from the active formation. And these are out of that objective range. So we did have an attack. So fatigue roll is fatigue. They go up to 2. And chance for a second activation on a 4 or more, unsuccessful. All right, so 4th Division is done, and they need to brace themselves, and I'm not in prepared defense either. I keep forgetting to do that. Should have done it, didn't do it, too late. All right, back to the Germans, and yeah, they could attack along here. No rush to do that. Okay, we've got problems in the centre here. I could pull back the 26 Volksgrenadier. I I could pull them away from Bastogne, but okay. So I've mentioned how the Americans are worried about their flanks and they don't want to push forward. Maybe the Germans heard that as well, and they're like, well, is this really a threat? Do I need to defend this primary road? How much damage can the Americans do? Maybe, I don't know what to do. 26, if I pull the 26 out, it sacrifices this northern drive on Bastogne, which I really need. Yeah. I can't bring the Fallschirmjäger over because their headquarters is way over to the west. They're already out of command. They have to move west. They're required to do so to rejoin their command. 276 can't help. They're way down here. I think the Germans are just hoping. Oh, okay. What I can do is activate the 352nd. They haven't activated yet, so I'll do that, and we'll see what kind of damage recovery they can make. I have, however, lost my die. Here it is. All right, so we're kind of looking straight down here again. Stay in this area of operations. 352nd, their headquarters is way off camera to the north. Up here, they're going to try and activate. They have coordination and fatigue, and a roll of 6 is only going to give them a partial, so half movement. And okay, so let's try and go back down the road. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try and rejoin them. 1, 3, 4. 352nd is really pulling out of here. This has got some forces down here as well. They need to pull away. So it's going to be half, 1.5 plus 2 for the river. It's not going to get far. I'll basically have to stop there. And likewise with these guys. They're going to suffer some attrition. It's a long way to go, but they've got to rejoin their command. I think we'll give up. I think we have to give up Edelbrook. Right? For units outside of command radius, they must move. Are there any exceptions to that? Yeah, it's around 1.4 E. Units must end. If this is not possible, they must move. That will help them do so. Or it can stay in its original hex and not move. Okay, so they can stay in their hex and not move, but suffer attrition. I think I'll leave those guys there. But these guys will try and make it, so they will get on their movement side and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Half movement because of the partial. That's all they can do. Now these units, 1, 2, and 2 out on the right, they don't have a safe path. They are out of command radius, but there is no MSR blocked yet. So they suffer 2 steps each. Ouch. Okay. They're down to 3. They go down to 4. And 2 out on the right. They go down to 3. And 3-step ersatz unit goes down to 1. they are in trouble. There's no doubt about that. These guys made it into command radius. That's about it. So that's the impact of that 10th Armoured Drive. Just breaks these units up from supply, creates panic, disorder, reduces their fighting strength and capability, and yeah, hurts the Germans. There is no fatigue. There is a chance at a second activation with 5 or more, and they do get a second activation. Okay, let's try and see what snafu they want to get back in command. So let's see what snafu they get. It's a 7. So they, I think that should have been removed. So 7 minus 1 is 6. That didn't move. So it's now optimal, which is back up to 7. And the German specific is 0. I think they get a full activation. Roll of 7, minus 1 is 6. Optimal is back up to 7. What else? What else? Not using tracks, primary road. No game specific. They're not, I don't think they're mixed. I mean, there's Germans, this is their blob basically. It's a coherent, it's a big stretched out chaotic blob, but does that qualify as a mixed formation? .2 formations are mixed if any active unit begins within or enters any hex inside an inactive formation. So I think they're okay. They're not, I assume it means inactive of the same side, rather than sort of, they're not sort of having, yeah. So, again, potential here for me to be sort of misinterpreting that, but that should have been cleaned up. We're going to give them a double objective, which is basically full movement. And they're going to try and 1, 2. I'm almost tempted to counterattack here to try and get them off that road. These guys can go 1, 2.5. If they do that first, then these guys come down. They can assist this attack. So let's set my objectives. Double objective there to make this, yeah, try and clear that road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's in range of the headquarters. Combat is a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for the double objective, 15, 16, 17 for the assistance. -3 is 14. 14, where are they? In the clear, 14. Well, an AV unit in the open adds 2, so it comes down to 12, but that is still a D1 retreat result. So, I guess a pretty respectable German attack, considering what they're fighting. And a retreat, which is back 3. 1, 2, 3. And they can advance. Okay, now what do we do? How do we make this a safe situation? We'll bring these guys out on the right. They will now become mixed. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So both of these formations will suffer coordination. But we've sort of helped the 352nd regain contact. We'll now shift the headquarters down just a little. 1, 2, 3 to put these guys in command and bring down the rest. oops, and leave their combat trains there, that's okay. All right, and let's make us a fatigue roll. They pass, and they're done. These guys, however, suffer some isolation. 2 more steps. Actually, are they... is there a safe path? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is a safe path now. So there is a safe path, but they're outside command radius. So they just suffer 1 step instead of 2. Safe path is, I think, command radius plus 5, so 11, using their movement allowance, which is foot. And that can move quite rapidly along these tracks. And there's this bridge here across the sewer, can link up with their headquarters for just the 1 isolation step. Okay, that's it for the 352nd. Now I think this kind of little bit of fighting has stabilised a bit. CCA though has, I think I want to activate them. They're way down here. And yeah, they're going to roll for Snafu, activate their headquarters. So they are on tracks. 1 fatigue, ghosted. But a roll of 11 will give them a double activation. And let's think about their plans and what they want to do. So we've got a unit, as I said, in here, headquarters here, good hard unit here, and a unit here as well. So they can, look, maybe it's their role to push up into Vianden and block this part of the river. So let's see how far we can get. As I said, this unit here, let's put them on top. Oh, they don't just have trucks. They've got, I don't know what they'd be carrying with that kind of attack movement, but they can certainly move pretty far. So they've got to get into the clear first. So it has to go through rolling terrain. I don't think, I mean, I'm not inclined to sort of launch any attack along the German line here. They really just want to move rapidly, secure the river bridge, and secure the bridge, re-secure these bridges across the Uru River, which should be pretty nice. So I'll just double check that movement. I think it's 3 for attack in rolling. It is, oh, but wait, it's mud. Yeah, 3 for attack in rolling terrain. So these guys will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, oh, actually, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's going to still stop just short of the river. Get these administrative markers out of the way. The reason I'm doing that is to avoid any coordination issues with the 10th Armoured. If I move straight into Dekirk, they will both suffer coordination, but there's this other little secondary bridge off to the right, so they're just going to follow this path. I didn't get far though, despite the 16 movement. Okay, I can move up here and block that. I can move up here and block that. I, again, don't want to push out too far. I think I'll just hold there. That's a modest advance. And I think I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Push up into there maybe. Yeah, okay. That's pretty conservative. Holding key river crossings. I've only got 3 battalions in this formation. And of course, I've always got to remember to move the headquarters up. So 1, they're halved to 6 because of mud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll flip our combat train so they're not ghosted. So no objectives, so no fatigue. And I mean, I could get a second activation, but the only thing I'd really be doing is moving this other single formation. It's a lot to risk. It's basically a 1 in 3 chance of an extra fatigue, and I think they're in a good position there, so I'll hold there. And that's the end of that formation activation. It's CCA 9th Armoured. All right, so it's been about an hour. That's 5 formation activations. So that's averaging about 12.5 minutes. Like I said, the first 5 minutes were spent, so if we say 50 minutes, about 10 minutes in activation. Back to the Germans. And again, there's no rush for them to do anything down here. I don't like their chances of basically punching through 4th Division and reaching this objective within the next, we've got this turn and 1 more turn. So I don't like the chances of doing that. They want to hold on to Edelbrook. That's an important victory point objective. I think they're going to do okay in the centre here. They'll certainly hold Veltz. I think they want to now turn their attention to Bastogne. And I think fix that map up. Okay. Options here. 116th, bordering on Bastogne from the north. It's probably too late, I think, to even capture Bastogne. I've been butting my head against this for a couple of turns now, but well, we'll try at least. I think the best you can see here, they've just replenished all their losses. They're full strength, full strength, full strength, full strength. I need to kind of surround and cut off. Maybe if I activate the 26th Volksgrenadier first, and we'll see what they can do in the southeast. That's where we'll start. An attack on Bastogne. The Americans have about 8 steps in there, and I can't inflict 8 steps in one day, basically. It'll basically be, at most, if I'm extremely lucky, 2 steps per formation. So I've got 2. No, I could do it with absolutely perfect die rolling. It's not going to happen though. So I'll activate the 26 Volksgrenadier. They have a 6. Oh no, they're ghosted. So I think it's only a partial activation. One objective. So they've got to choose north or south. These guys are out in the open. So, whereas they're in sort of terrain, they're in a prepared defence as well, so it doesn't really matter. What I can do is I've got my reconnaissance unit back here, so I'll set this objective for now, and we'll bring that reconnaissance up in just a moment. So they are being activated. They've got 3 intrinsic plus 2, 5 artillery pieces. They want to clear this road. As I said, this is the 2nd Panzer road. It's not the 26th Volksgrenadier road. So they can pull back 1, 2. They can use that southern path. They'll allow that. And we'll get an infantry attack into here. A die roll of 3 is going to end poorly for them. I can say that now. 7, 8, 9, 10, minus 5. That's going to be a 4, which is an attack at 2. 4 or less. You can stop counting once you get to 4. Attack at 2 result and an attack failure. Now, these guys need to catch up. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I said I had a plan, but they can't even reach the objective to spot it and set it as a new objective. So there goes that plan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just move the headquarters back a bit. They don't need to be kind of in the way. Actually, we'll move my headquarters forward a bit so I can flip my train, and they'll just advance and get ready. Sorry, they will flip to the deployed side, advance and prepare. So they did engage in combat, so fatigue, and it's an increase. And let's try for a second activation with a 4 or more, and of course not. So they're done. So this kind of ring around Bastogne isn't really tightening. It's been a couple of days now, and Americans are just holding out. It's now the American activation. And what do we got? We've got the 101st Airborne. They're pretty happy. They're in a prepared defence. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to rush. I like holding them last in case they need to adjust. Got the 110th, 28th on their left. It'd be good to get them in a prepared defence. So they are going to activate. I'm going to use their headquarters down here. They are going into a prepared defence. So part of preparation for their turn, they can say, we want to enter a prepared defence. They roll for snafu. Best they can do is a partial. It's pretty good. It's a 7. Optimal distance, because it's in an entry hex, it would be 8. Game specific, back down to 7. So it's a full activation, reduced to a partial. They don't want to do any combat. They just want to sit there and hold the left flank of the Allied defence of Bastogne. So that's pretty much all that they're doing. No objectives, so no fatigue. They don't want to. They're foregoing the possibility of a second activation. That was a pretty quick one. Okay, back to the Germans, and let's see what second Panzer can do. It's take your pick, basically. 116th Panzerlehr, second Panzer. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, let's see if they can punch through this primary road in the east. So their headquarters is off here. I don't know why that's rotated, but there it is. It'll be activating. They have 3 fatigue. That's going to hurt. And a 7, I'm pretty sure is only going to give them a partial. So 7 minus 3 is 4, 5 for optimal. Yeah, it's a partial activation. And the Americans here are more hurt. So that might be the best place to drive through. If I can hit there, if Panzerlehr can hit there, maybe this is a gap I can create. They do have support, so I'll need to drop that support to start with. But they're in terrain, so I have to be adjacent to drop it. Okay. Let's get... I'm just looking at the reverse side and see how strong these guys are. Yeah, we'll flip these guys over, bring them in. Oh, now, to Second Panzer have any reconnaissance units? Could they set a second objective? Not that I can. Oh yeah, here. Okay, so I don't think I've ever set. That's not something I do very often, but I certainly should. It's reconnaissance, recon, creating objectives, 3.3, part 1. So, recon created. Recon units can place recon objectives after the activities phase begins. They're not constrained to conduct a recon. You must be a recon unit, have at least one fire event, not be stopped, and not attempt to recon a hex already containing an objective. That's what I was going to do actually. So I can't do that. I was thinking, can I create this a double objective here? But no, I can't. And that's all I want to take. So if I set this as the objective, it creates this 2 hex zone. So all the units I want to attack are covered anyway. So I don't need to create any other objectives. They can flip over. They may as well. Well, I can do a couple of shock attacks here if I drop this support. So who's best at dropping support? These guys are right here, so let's you do it. Actually, they're right. They're even better. Sorry, I'm flipping all these units over. This unit on the bottom here has a very nice 5, 4, 3 stat. In an engagement, that'll be giving me 9 versus their 8. So this unit is going to attempt an engagement here to drop the support. It's 3 plus 5. Yeah, this is 9. So I get a +1, but they're prepared defense, so it cancels out. I need a 6 or more, and I get an 8. So the support is temporarily dropped from that hex. This unit has made 1 fire action. Their second will be shock combat on the hex, now that the support has been dropped. And a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, minus 5 is 7, 6, 5, 4. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That hurts. That's an attacker 2 loss. Brings that big strong unit down to just 1 step. But they did their job. They helped. And now other units can follow up. Such as these guys. Well, they engaged in shock combat. I believe they can now assist, which doesn't require a fire event. So they can assist in this attack on here. And yeah, I'll bring in this reconnaissance unit to attack. It's a dual unit, which gives you an extra modifier. And it's got this 5 AR, so that's really good at doing this job. Let's see how they go. Not much better. 5 plus 5 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Minus 5 is 9, 8, 7, 6. That's an A1 result. That's not good. Okay, so we've had a regular attack on here. We can't have any more regular attacks on here. But I could shift my attention down to this unit. Keeping in mind, this is the 2nd Panzer Road. So they want to get off that, well, they're on a rail line here. It's not really a road. I could hold these guys there. I'll bring in It's infantry, so they'll come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll try and drop the support on this hex. It's going to be 7 versus 8. Ouch. So that's -1, -1 for the prepared defences, -2. Luckily, a roll of 8 drops the support narrowly. So that support is dropped. They can then engage in shock combat. A 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 minus 5 is 10, 9, 8, 7. A1. With a situational retreat. So we actually cause a step loss on the Americans. Whew. It's tough. Okay, now we can bring in this infantry who I flipped earlier, and they can do a regular combat with assistance from that unit below them. And a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, minus 5, 9, 8, 7, 6. That's an A1 result. German attacks are going nowhere. And we've got this other infantry here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if they can move through woods. I don't think they can. They will hang about there then. So 2nd Panzer Blob, just north of the 26. Headquarters here. Train is up there. They engaged in combat, so let's check their fatigue. And it's good. They may get a second activation with a 4 or more. It's bad. They don't. So they are done. Yeah, and it's just a grind. Once you come across, I mean, the 101st, when they place their reinforcements, they place them in this defendable terrain that they can just, prepare defense. It's hard to break through. 2 units. They've done everything to enhance their defense. 2 units per stack, 2, 2, and 2 in terrain, which gives them another modifier. They've got really good ARs. They have a prepared defense. They lost some. This was probably they're at their most vulnerable right here. This hex here is clear, and then there's clear, 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 clear. So if the 116th can break through here, well, what's going to happen? It might disrupt their safe path. Maybe they'll suffer a little bit of isolation, but with only 2 turns left, really only 1 turn after this, I don't see Bastogne falling in this scenario. Look, going to wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully shedding more light on BCS. American turn next. Still got the 116th and Panzer to come. So got this northern attack. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath for that, but I'll play through it tomorrow. Thanks everyone, and take care.